and we know Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out.
Maybe.
Maybe if you could cast one person that you've worked with, or maybe you'd love to work with, who would you love to cast as a variant of Spider-Man in the next one?
Who would I love to get in there? There's quite a few people. I want Sam Jackson somewhere. I need Sam Jackson in my repertoire. Like, he's a good friend. He's a close confidant. Like, he's kind of like my
Drop
guy.
that name.
I love him, and I was like, we need to do something. He would be great in Spider-Verse. Who else? Let's see.
Brian, it's so good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
This is technically our second time, but like the first time was sort of one-sided.
How so?
So the other day,
Yeah.
on Wednesday, you flew from New York to London, yeah?
I did.
I was in front of you boarding that plane. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say anything.
I
Why didn't you
was
say
so
anything?
nervous.
Me? With me? Why?
No one wants to do like small talk about...
I don't mind it. I really don't. You could have just been like, hey, Brian, maybe I'll be, I'm the movie dweeb. I'll come in, I'm going to be interviewing you. And I would have been like, what's going on?
Should we do it now? So pretend I'm like in front of you.
You really like showing me your backside, don't you? What y'all don't know is before this is that he was setting his camera up and I walked in on the backside. But it's fine. Like, go ahead. Do it. Just do it.
Right, okay. So
Okay.
I'm in front of you boarding the plane.
I'm probably on my phone.
Yep. Bloody hell, Brian.
That's how you would do it? You would start with
Yeah.
like that octave?
That's how I
That
usually
would
greet
probably
people.
make me retreat
And
a
that's
bit.
why I didn't do it. See? I know what I'm doing.
Let's try it again.
Right, okay.
Let's see. Okay.
Right. Hey.
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 What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing much. You boarding a plane?
Are you flirting with me?
I'm
This
always.
is a flirt.
I've showed you my backside.
Oh,
Now
so I'm
flirting.
like, and here's my number. There we go. See, it would have been that easy.
Right, cut the interview.
There we
I'm
go.
done.
Like,
See you later. Let's go.
anything
Back
else?
to my place.
Love affair. You always say hi. Like I
Oh.
love when people say hi. It's all good.
Well, when I follow you onto your plane back to New York, I'll
Follow
make sure-
me onto my
Oh,
plane.
this is my thing now. This is my thing now.
You know it's on tape that if I end up missing, they'll be like,
and you
oh,
also
he followed him
know
on the...
I have the tape, so
Yeah.
I can cut that bit out. You are done for, mate.
Oh, well.
So, obviously, Dope Thief, that was based on the novel.
Yes.
When you got the call from your agent, were you like, oh, yeah, Dope Thief, love that book? Or was it a case of like, oh, Dope Thief, yeah, I love that book?
It was a few things. Actually, it wasn't my agency at all. It was my manager, who is now my producing partner on this series as well. She had the script for Dope Thief, but she gave it to me while I was filming another television series. And at that point, I was like, I need a break. Like, I literally finished the last season of Atlanta, went straight into a new series called Class of '09, which was me in the past, present, and future. So I was in all these different prostheses through the whole thing. And so we're sitting on set at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, there's a show that I think you could, she's trying to slide this week. There's a show, and I was like, is it TV? She's like, yeah. I was like, no, thank you. I was like, I'm okay. She's like, I really think that I was like, is it TV? I was like, I don't want to. So I ended up reading it, and like by the first 5 pages, I was just like absolutely captivated. I loved Ray. And then I was like, well, the only way I'll do it if there's a second episode is a second episode. And then she gave me the second episode, and I was like, well, shit. But I loved it, man. Peter Craig, who wrote it, who's our showrunner and our EP, wonderful writer, the Batman, the Town, all the Hunger Games. Well, not all the Hunger Games, but the ones that are most important, Peter. He wrote it, and it was just so wonderful. The characters were so vivid and so crazy, but I also was like, Ray is going through a lot in this first episode alone, and I was like, can I do this? And then they were like, well, we would like you to be executive producer too. I was like, I can definitely do this. Like, let's do this. So, and then I found out Ridley Scott was attached to it as well. So it was kind of a no-brainer, and I just really loved the character Ray. Like the whole story of Ray was something that was really appealing.
Well, before I followed you here to London, I was in New York and I actually caught up with Peter Craig out there.
Yeah?
And I have never...
Did you go up to him and say, did you approach him the way you would have approached me, or was it a different...
I did, but he wasn't as receptive. He didn't give me his number. He phoned 911, actually.
Okay,
Different
that makes
sort of
sense.
number.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's fair.
That tracks.
But I have never seen someone love someone more. Like, I want my wife to love me like Peter loves you.
Loves me? I
Yeah.
love that, man.
Yeah.
Peter's really remarkable. We couldn't be two different people in the world, but that's how, like, that's genuine love, I think. We realized that we had a lot in common once we signed on to do the show together. And that was great. I just feel really safe with him. Like, we unpacked a lot of stuff. Like, we talked about all our generational trauma, our daddy issues, like all kinds of things. And we put it into the show. Like, he gave me room and space to like really let all these things that I had kind of been wanting to unburden myself with out in the show. And I think it was doing the same for him. Like, I feel like the show was cathartic for him to go through. And he was there every day, man. Like, he was on set with me every single day. I love that, man. Like, I ride or die for Peter Craig.
Because he told me that he was like, it was Paper Boi, that he saw that and was like, I need to get this guy on the show.
Brian was the top of our list, partly because Ray does really sketchy things and he's kind of grumpy with Manny a lot of the time. And so but we knew we needed to love him. So we thought, who's an actor that's really lovable, that you connect with him no matter how kind of vinegary he gets in the midst of things? And Paper Boi was that. I loved Atlanta. I was a big fan of it. So we got really lucky that Brian read it right away. He responded to it.
And firstly, I was like, you're an Atlanta fan. Like, that blew my mind straight away.
He's just the most unassuming. The things that he likes, you just are like, wait, what? Like, he's a staunch hip hop fan. Like, he is very vocal in the opening theme song of this show, which is my favorite thing about TV shows. I'm like, well, because we don't even do opening credits anymore, really. It's just like, you do the show, and then it's like the name of the show, and then but we have an opening theme, and Peter came to me very excited about, like, this is the song, and I was like, Little Sims?
Yeah.
I was like, what do you know about Little Sims? Like, and it was just, but it was, he's just so great, man. And he's seen everything. Like, you know who his mom is, right?
Who?
Sally Field.
Shut up.
You didn't know that Sally
No.
Field is yes.
God, I'm bad at research.
Oh man, give me these. No, Sally Field's his mom, and she's wonderful. So he's like, he's been a part of this forever, but his writing, like, you just don't find, I can't even explain it, man. Like, it is so human, but also so dark, and also so funny at the same time that it just is like a playground for any actor to play in.
Mate, so Sally Field and Peter might have been watching Atlanta, seeing Donald Glover, like the most talented
Well, I
man
met
on
his
the
mom,
planet.
and she's a fan of Atlanta. She's a fan of mine, which is crazy, because I'm just like, but you're Sally Field, and she knows like almost everything that I've done. But to hear her say that she was a fan of Atlanta was like just the dopest woman ever.
So she knows everything you've done, including this interview. You're telling me Sally Field is watching this right now?
I feel like this is all for you right now. Like, this is your way to, of course. What am I saying?
Thank you for getting me to Sally
What
Field.
am I saying?
Paper Boi was the role that sort of like got you this, according to Peter. How
Okay.
has that role like sort of changed your life since that's happened?
It's very interesting because like when we're in the middle of Atlanta, we weren't really, you can't really tell what's gonna take off, because like I knew there wasn't a show like this ever. I remember when we did the billboard for it, it's just, 3 black men with peaches in their mouths, and I was like, there's no way. Like, I'd never seen anything like that. And I was like, but that's what was so exciting, knowing that here we are at this era where we're able to create a show like this. But it allowed us to be so authentically ourselves, like, and play and be funny and be silly, but also getting all our rage out and all the things that we were feeling about society. And it was truly an ensemble show. Like, the 4 of us are thick as thieves, and credit to Donald for giving us the room to play. Literally let them allow me the space to build Paper Boi, because a lot of the stuff that we do in this show is improv as well. We have amazing writers, don't get me wrong, but like the 4 of us, when we got together, we would just play. And so it's really cool to watch that people received Paper Boi that way. I've never seen a character like that be received. Like, I'm sitting here talking to you in London, and you're like, oh, Paper, and I'm like, what is going on? I've had some of the strangest demographics come up to me that they're fans of Paper Boi, and they're just like, I had like an 80-year-old Jewish grandmother that was just like, oh, you know you're my favorite part of the show. My husband, oh, he loves Darius. And I'm like, what is going, like, what is going, but that, to me, is the power of television and the power of what we do, like, I love Alfred very much. Like, he's very close to my heart. And I remember Donald being like, you're not gonna be able to go anywhere without people calling you Paper Boi. I was like, I don't think that's true. And here we are, 2025.
I had to write your name in huge block letters here, so I didn't call you Paper Boi.
What's my name?
I've got
Oh boy, this is so, it was good being here. And I am grateful that it has opened up the door for me to play just a huge range of roles, because that's what I like to do. Like, I like to bend people's imaginations of what they think that I can be, so it's like, I'm not just this one thing. I like playing all these things. So it's been really cool to be able to do that, and it's cool to know that Peter saw that and wanted me. Like, that's really great.
But like as you said, that was like a turning point for you. And now in Dope Thief, you're working with Ridley Scott, which is absolute madness. What was the moment you're like, shit, I'm working with Ridley Scott?
Well, the minute that they say that it's Ridley Scott, so like it's kind of like a torture, right? Because like they tell you that you're working with them, and then you've got all this time until you meet Ridley, and then this is my first time like having an office, right? So there's a production office, so I have my little EP office, which was really cool. And I was decorating it. Like I had plants, I had like colored lights in there. I wanted people to feel like they could come in my office and kick it. I was like, I'm not just an executive producer. I'm like a cool executive producer.
I got Jolly Ranchers
I
there.
saw that.
Whoa,
I saw that.
hey.
And I can't eat them now because they'll stain your tongue. So then I'll have the whatever color the Jolly Rancher is the whole
Just
interview.
eat the red ones. You good?
No, that doesn't work. That's a trap.
I see. You've been doing this for a while.
But his office was next to mine. And so, he wasn't there when I first got there. So, I'd have my door open, and every time I heard somebody walking, I was like, is it Ridley? So what's really cool about Ridley is that he's very much like wanting to know like how you feel, like what is it that what you want to bring, what is it that you want to see. And Ridley also shoots very unconventionally. He shoots with 6 cameras, right? So most shows do like 1 or 2 cameras, but Ridley does 6. And you probably won't know where those cameras are when like you're on. So you have to kind of come onto set with an understanding of like your character, tone, what you want to do. But it also, for me, gave me a space to just make as many choices as I wanted. Like it gave me room to really breathe and figure out how I wanted to move in the space. And he's not a person that needs to put you through a lot of takes, because there's 6 cameras, so he caught something. And but my favorite thing when I met him was he came up to me and he was like, Brian, I'm just at a place in my career where I just want actors that make me go, I never thought of that. And I was like, well, say no more. Like, especially with 6 cameras, like it was really, I don't know, man. It feels like a really good tick off the box, right? Of like I got to work with the legendary Ridley Scott, and to see how excited this show made him was really cool too.
The show set in Philly. You filmed out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything I know about Philadelphia, I've learned through It's Always Sunny. I know nothing about Philadelphia.
Which is fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
And now, if you want to learn even more about Philly, you watch Abbott Elementary. Abbott Elementary just did a really cool episode where they crossed over. So I was like, that's just brilliant. Quintus is just a genius.
Well, what show are we crossing Dope Thief over with?
You don't need to cross it with any. No, what if we cross it with Severance? Let's see what happens if Dope Thief and Severance cross each other.
I am running to Apple TV Plus for that right now.
I think that'll be a good crossover.
I
don't know how it would like.
That's someone else to work out.
They don't have guns. Me and Wagner just rolling up in their office, but not remembering that we're in the office, and them robbing trap houses, but not remember. I mean, I'd watch it.
Yeah, maybe we're the only 2 people that watch it, but my God, would we watch it?
The ratings would be through the roof, I think.
So when you're in Philadelphia, like, what's a night out with you there? Like, what's the game plan? What are we doing out in Philadelphia?
It was hard to do anything in Philadelphia because when I was filming this show, we were literally on location in all the neighborhoods every day. So I never really got a chance to do much. But what I did love doing on the weekends is that there's a town outside of Philly, an hour drive away, called New Hope. And it is truly nirvana. Like, it is truly just like there's like every other storefront is a candle shop. You know what I mean? Like, they have an ice cream shop there called Moo Hope, which like, and then there was this little wonderful, I don't even know how you describe this store, but it was this beautiful store called The Meaning of Things, like, which is a line from a very famous poem. And you go in and it's like wonderful wallpaper, and they got candles under cloches, and then they've got like fun little I was in there almost every week. It was my favorite. It was my favorite. And so I kind of like became the mayor of New Hope. Like, it's like, cause I was there all the time. And so there was one time that I got Wagner, my co-star Wagner Mora, who plays Manny in the show, and we're really tight. Like, I mean, like, I love that man. And I was like, I'm gonna treat you to New Hope. I was like, we gotta get you out. And you would have thought that we were on a date. Like there's like a bridge that's over a river there, and we walked across the bridge, and so it was so funny because like one of our ADs on the show the next day came up to both of us and was like, so I heard you guys were in New Hope. And I was like, how did you know? She was like, well, my friend was riding and saw you guys walking down the street eating ice cream and just said it was the most lovely. I was like, yeah, that was us. I took Wagner to New Hope. It was great. But it was the best time. But Philly in and of itself is truly just like, I can't explain how much I loved Philly. Like the pride of Philly is amazing. I was there when they went to the Super Bowl. We started filming in 2023, so they went to the Super Bowl that year. And they lost that year. So I made sure that I was inside my apartment that year because Philly they don't play around when it comes to the Eagles, go Birds. And there's just so much to do, so much art, so much culture, so much food. Like there's so much good food. Like, I mean, I may get beaten up after this, but I think Philly food scene is coming for New York's food scene in a huge way. I got really cool with a lot of the restaurateurs there and the chefs. It was great. I stayed in Philly for over a year because, there was a strike. So when we were filming, I think we were getting to episode 5 and the strike happened. And I was like, I'm gonna stay. I was like, I really wanna stay in Philly. I really wanna just be here, ride this out. I also didn't know when the strike was gonna lift. And I got really close with my crew. Like I loved it, like the Philly crew is unlike anything. And so when the strike happened, I was like, well, what can I do? Like, I wanna keep morale up, like for everyone. And so I decided to go to one of my best friend's house. Her name is Jessica Cooner. She was our set photographer. And so she had this wonderful house. I was like, I'm getting bouncy castles. I was like, so I'm gonna rent bouncy castles and then I'm gonna go get a bunch of like these really delicious pastries from this wonderful Philly pastry shop. And I got all these adults over and we just bounced on. I was like, let your rage out, like just get it out. So we just had bouncy castles like for it was great. It was one of the best times. Like spending a year in Philly was the best thing I could have ever done.
I will join you for season 2 now. You sold it to me. I'll be there.
I care about the show. I loved it, man. I care about everybody that helped bring it together. It was like the best time. It really, really was.
Well, before you go, one last question. Obviously, you work with greats like Wagner, Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth, like huge names.
Yeah.
And we know Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out.
Maybe.
If you could cast one person that you've worked with, or maybe you'd love to work with, who would you love to cast as a variant of Spider-Man in the next one?
Who would I love to get in there? There's quite a few people. I want Sam Jackson somewhere. I need Sam Jackson in my repertoire. Like, he's a good friend. He's a close confidant. Like, he's kind of like my guy. I love him, and I was like, we need to do something. He would be great in Spider-Verse. Who else? Let's see. We should probably get Zoe Saldaña in there. Maybe we should get Beyonce in there.
God, I've got a lot of work cut
out for me. I mean, like, better make sure all these views are up so that we can. But nah, man, like, at this point, Spider-Verse can go anywhere. Like, because like our last one, there were like 39 people. I was like, wait, they were in it too? I didn't even know. No, there's some good people. There'll be some fun people. Ayo Edebiri could do it. Jeremy Allen White can do it. Daniel Delweiler can do it. Who else? Chris Evans should come, like, and play with us. Like,
so just everyone in Hollywood. Everyone.
I'll just call him. Hold on, let me just like. But nah, it would be fun.
Yeah, well, I've actually interviewed Jake Johnson twice, and both times he said, you can be in it. You can be in it. And he hasn't called me up since.
Well, Jake's a bit of a flake.
Yeah, I know you've got me. I know you'll get me in there.
I'll get you in there, man. Especially with the Jolly Ranchers.
Share
one with me, man. We can't do this solo.
Right, I'll go green for you.
I agree. Here
we go, because we're best friends, and what we do.
This is like, come on, cheers.
Cheers. That's a good way. I'll interview to them like that. Nice. Yeah. Dude, thanks so much, man.
Of course, man. Thank you.
Cheers, bud.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
All right. I should just be a producer on this.
Actually, do you want to?
Should I?
Much better than her. Yeah.
Are you hearing what he's saying about you?
No, is he talking about me?
Oh, man. How long y'all been working together?
Oh, well, this could be the end.
I think it might. When you watch this back, good God.
Might be. Ma. Paying attention to
this?
That
was good. I can't wait for my go. Yeah, you got it.
I was like,
Ma. Oh God, I got denim burn there. I thought that's what you have to do. I've not done this before.
We also don't know where that shirt's been, but I'm just saying.
Actually, if you knew her, you don't want to know. That's the problem.
This is cool. I may move this up. I'm gonna move it up for you. I don't want you to lose me.
Oh, I don't want to lose you.
I don't want to lose you.
This is so cute.
There we go.